Mathematics, let's say mathematics, we have basically two kind of model. Those model here, the people like to call it people like to call it people like to call it black box models is one. People like to call it white box models. Which are the difference? The difference is very simple. In black, as the name say, everything is dark. You don't know what's exactly going on. In the brain, is true. We don't know as a neuroscientist, as a doctor, or as a biologist how the brain works, the way it works. Consciousness, consciousness is a very intriguing idea. We know that the brain is composed of neurons. Those neurons, they have some kind of termination. They carry electric current here inside the neuron. Then they release neurotransmitter. We know that from the MER, from the electromagnetic image, resonance image, we know that the brain has activation several points because of as a output of several function. We know all that, but we don't know exactly how it works. If we knew, we could make mathematical model, but you can't. All these mathematical models that I have shown before, I mean, I have presented the simplest version before, they are very simple. The one that I knew nowadays, they are more complicated, but they're still very simple compared to the brain. So we have a lot to learn. So black box means that you don't know what is going on. Black box model in general, they exist to solve problems, such as artificial networks applied a lot in engineering to solve complex problem that we do not have a mathematical model. So in biology, majority of the problem they are black box. So one of the biggest difference between biology, medicine, and the similar area of research in physics is that the majority of the modern physics they are white box because you have a simple system to understand. I mean they are complex in size but simpler in terms of view of understand. For example, you can understand in physics you can understand how a bar, such as you have here a bar that you want to apply a force here and here. How people understand that? They understand that by the parts. So if they know how to work a small bar in the laboratory, they know how it will going to work, for example, in a big bridge. In a big bridge you do not can measure because it's very big, but if you take a sample, you can do it. However, in biology it's not necessarily true. If you know how a piece of tissue work, that's called in general, people like to call it in biology in vitro, in which they make experiment in laboratory. When they put they try to understand what's called in vivo, which is in a living system. The system get a little bit more complicated. Some surprise always appear, and it happens a lot. So the majority of the box in biology will be black box somehow. The white box model, in which you know the details or exactly what's going on, they are what's called toy model. Toy model is a model that work just in theory. I mean, they are based on first principle. They are based on ideas that can be confirmed by experiment, but they unfortunately they cannot be applied in real case. That's one of the big problems. So the majority of the problem in that artificial intelligence they are black box. I mean the artificial neural network first system and the evolutionary strategy, all of them are black box. They are designed to solve problem, not to be understood. So and so this model here they start from mathematics. This model here they start some kind of metaphor, such as artificial network is based on the way the brain work. So we don't know how the brain work, but know what the brain does. So you know the brain learn. So artificial network learn. You know the brain is divided in small pieces called neurons. So artificial network are based on neuron as well. The neuron are very simple mathematical model, but they are a sample of mathematical model for neuron. Of course, neuroscience and artificial intelligence, they are very connected because artificial intelligence try to build model for neuron and for intelligent system, and the neuroscience for him is trying to understand how that stuff work. So it's more than natural that we have the interplay between artificial network and neuroscience. It's quite common to happen. But the models for neuroscience tend to be more complicated because they want to understand exactly what's going on. So they're trying to get closer from a white box. On the other hand, for artificial intelligence, they are not so interested in to understand the details.